Ang Intel NUC stands for Next Unit of Computing na nagsisilbing design backbone for new mini PCs. Over the past few years, ang form factor ng Intel NUC ay halos hindi nagbago, habang nag-i-improve naman ang performance nito with each new generation of Intel CPUs. Pero ang kawalan ng discrete graphics ang isang nananatiling challenge ng Intel NUC, kaya hindi pa nito mapantayan ang power ng regular desktop PCs. Pero sa bagong architecture ng Ghost Canyon, magbabago ito lahat. Ito ang Intel NUC 9 Extreme Ghost Canyon. Specifically, ang model na ito ay ang NUC 9i9QN na may 9th Gen Intel Core i9 9980HK for the brains with integrated Intel UHD graphics 630. Amazing na this little box packs a Core i9, an 8-core 16-thread CPU with 2.4 GHz base clock na tatakbo pa ng up to 5 GHz on turbo. Capable din ito ng hanggang 64 GB of DDR4 RAM, up to 3 M.2 slots with RAID 0 and RAID 1 support. Other stuff na integrated din dito ay may built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capability ito. Intel Wi-Fi 6 AX200 and Bluetooth 5.0. Bukod sa Core i9 at tatlong M.2 slots, some may think na pareho lang ito sa regular Intel NUCs. For comparison, heto ang Intel NUC 10 Performance Frost Canyon, also from the new Intel NUC line na mayroon namang 10th Gen Intel Core processors, ang latest processors ng Intel, na very similar in size sa mga earlier models ng Intel NUC. So bakit ito mas malaki? Primarily, it's because of the option to add a graphics card. Hindi tulad ng smaller NUCs, may PCIe X16 slots ito kung saan pwede kayong maglagay ng dedicated graphics card. As a gamer or maybe content creation, ang Core i9 pa lang swakto na sa pangangailangan mo. Pero having the option to add a dedicated GPU ay napakalaking pagbabago talaga, lalo na para sa isang mini PC. Mamaya, titignan natin ang loob nito kung paano ito naging posible. Titignan din natin how the Ghost Canyon would fit your needs, kung ano ang pagkakaiba nito sa regular NUCs, at kung alin sa dalawa ang mas kailangan mo. Tignan pa natin kung ano ang makukuha natin from the outside. Sa magkabilang gilid ay ang mesh na may honeycomb pattern na embossed, kaya malinaw ang daluyan ng hangin from both sides. Sa mesh din, prominent ang skull logo na makikita rin sa Skull and Hades Canyon, ang previous gen high-performance line ng Intel NUC. Still, it has rounded corners like the smaller NUCs, kaya hindi ganun ka-in-your-face aggressive ang design niya and improves its mini PC-ness. Sa harap, ito ang unassuming 3.5mm stereo headset jack, 2 super speed USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type A ports with data transfer rates of up to 10 gigabits per second, a UHS 2 SD card slot, at ang power button. Sa top and bottom ay grills para sa exhausts. Ang lahat ng iba pang ports ay nasa likod. So for this particular model, mayroon itong 4 na super speed USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type A ports, same 10 gigabits per second capacity. Dalawang USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type C ports. These are Thunderbolt 3 supporting Alt-DP, meaning these can function as display outs. 2 Intel Gigabit LAN ports, an HDMI 2.0 port capable of 4K resolution up to 60 Hz and 7.1 surround sound, at 3.5mm combo speaker and Toslink optical audio jack. In addition, nandito ang small form factor 500-watt power supply which already comes with the unit. Ngayon, hihimayin natin itong Ghost Canyon para makita ninyo kung paano nasiksik ng Intel ang isang graphics card dito. Ito ang mainboard ng Ghost Canyon, or what Intel calls the compute element. Ito ang intake na bumubuga papunta sa fins ng vapor chamber na makikita natin mamaya. So, i-unscrew natin itong flap so we can see inside. Nabibilang dito sa compute element ang CPU soldered to the motherboard. Ito ang vapor chamber ng CPU. At sa taas nito ang fins kung saan bumubuga ang intake fan. Ito ang dalawang SODIMM RAM slots. At most you can have two 32GB sticks here. Dito naman sa left ang dalawang M.2 slots, one supporting 42, 80, and 110mm, and another one only up to 80mm. So for example, video editor ka. You can have a full-length M.2 SSD here para sa lahat ng apps mo, and then you can have a smaller capacity M.2 SSD here, which is dedicated for your cache. Kung babalikan natin ang flap na tinanggal natin kanina, may pre-installed ng heat sinks at thermal pads ito for both M.2 devices. Kaya hindi mo kailangang mamroblema sa cooling ng M.2 devices mo. This compute element is essentially the computer itself. Pero mapapansin ninyo na itong compute element ay may regular PCIe X16 pins. Yan ang wais na workaround ng Ghost Canyon. Itong compute element connects itself to this daughter board. Kaya imbis na nagko-connect ka ng expansion card sa motherboard na traditional layout ng desktop PCs, ang daughter board ang nagli-link sa compute element at expansion cards. Kaya naging posible ang manipis na layout nito. Ang design na ito ay hindi bago. Although hindi pa PCIe ang connectors na gamit noon, ini-implement na ang ganitong design dati with the slot 1 or SC242. I won't go into details pero ang general layout noon is may separate PCB para sa CPU at saka mo siya ikakabit sa slot 1 sa motherboard. Itong daughter board ay may dalawang PCIe X16 slots. Itong sa taas ang para sa compute element at itong blue slot ay para sa graphics card. We have another PCIe slot. Ito naman ay X4 na open-ended. So depending on your configuration, pwedeng may dalawang expansion cards dito like capture cards, etc. As specified by Intel, as long as within 8 inches ang length ng GPU, kasya ito dito sa Ghost Canyon. Plus, sa gitna ng dalawang PCIe slots ay may isa pang M.2 slot supporting up to 110mm. Also with a supplied heatsink, giving you a total of 3 M.2 slots. Kung worried kayo sa cooling, NUC units have always been reliable. As you can see, may dalawang exhaust fans dito sa taas, sucking out the hot air directly coming from the CPU. Both sides have meshes, so ang GPU can freely take in air and air can flow freely from both sides. At may separation sa PSU, kaya hindi mo kailangan mag-alala sa init na manggagaling dito. Tulad ng ibang NUC units, ang Ghost Canyon ay isang bare-bones PC rin, meaning you only get the CPU, the board inside, the chassis, and the power supply. Pero ang Ghost Canyon ay available sa PC Express complete and pre-configured, including the OS, kaya wala ka nang iisipin pa. So ang question, is the Ghost Canyon right for you? Ang Intel NUC is always built with both space and power saving in mind. So generally, NUCs are great for offices, schools, as a workstation, POS, or kung talagang gusto mo lang ng malinis sa setup. Ang Ghost Canyon din ay geared for performance-driven tasks, kaya makikita mo lang ito with higher-end CPUs na Core i9, Core i7, and Core i5 variants. Kaya ito lang din ang may space for expansion cards tulad nga ng graphics cards, at tatlong M.2 slot. Kaya ang Ghost Canyon din ang better fit kapag into gaming ka, content creation, video editing, CAD, at 3D graphics. For more clerical work, word processing, spreadsheets, mga regular school or office tasks, o kung gusto mong gawin itong TV box o mag-serve as home theater, ang regular NUCs should be enough for you. Tulad nitong Frost Canyon NUCs, kayang-kaya nito ang mga ganitong workload, pati na rin 4K video playback. Plus, sa liit nito, pwede itong i-mount sa likod ng inyong TV or monitor para sa minimalistic na dating. Kung curious kayo dito sa Frost Canyon, mayroon itong 10th Gen Intel Core i7, Core i5, and Core i3 variants. 2 SODIMM slots which support up to 64GB of DDR4 RAM, isang M.2 slot up to 80mm. What we have here is the Core i3 Slim Chassis version, pero may tall version which has one additional SATA port for a 2.5-inch SSD or HDD. Built-in Intel Wi-Fi 6 AX200, Bluetooth 5.0. Ang main graphics driver nito is the integrated Intel UHD graphics. We also have 2 USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C ports, Thunderbolt 3, 3 USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-A ports with an additional 2 USB 2.0 internal headers, bringing the total USB capability to 7. Far-field quad-array mics which are these 4 holes, an infrared receiver, nakatago dito sa part na ito, headphone combo port, HDMI 2.0A port, capable din ng 4K output, and an Intel Gigabit LAN. May UHS 2 SD card slot, accessible dito sa left side niya. Again, this is the Intel NUC 10 Performance Frost Canyon, also available at PC Express. At ito ang Intel NUC Ghost Canyon, ang premier offering na Intel NUC for the latest Intel Core processors. Magiging available ito sa PC Express, kaya pumunta lang kayo dito para sa aming online store. Paki-like na rin itong video na ito kung nakatulong ito sa inyo. At syempre, mag-subscribe kayo dito sa PCXTV for more product rundowns and reviews. Ako si Jyaz, at hanggang sa muli.